you're a beginner drummer looking to get into some spicier stuff, or if you are an intermediate or advanced drummer that's just getting bored of the patterns that you play over and over again, I have the solution for you, which is Diddle It. And that is the terminology I'm sticking with, so just be aware. So what do I mean when I say diddle it? We can think of the term diddle as being more or less synonymous with double. So if we think of like a paradiddle, think of para-double, right, left, left, left. And today we're going to use a really simple concept that can inform aspects of your practice for literally the rest of your life. The really simple idea is that you can take any groove, any fill, any pattern that you frequently play, take one note in that pattern and diddle it or double it. And the really important part is that you are going to take that double and fit it into the same amount of time as the single note that you just replaced. So if you have a group of 4 16th notes and you double the first note, you're going to have 2 32nd notes in the space of the 16th note. Here's a really simple example. I'm going to play single strokes in 16ths, and I'm going to accent the first of every 4 notes, and then I'm going to diddle the first of every 4 notes. So I'm going to take that first 16th note and split it into 2 32nd notes. Here's what that's going to sound like. So even though that example didn't sound that interesting on its own, the concept is incredibly useful, as you'll see, and can be used in fills, chops, grooves, and in all sorts of ways around the kit. So let's try a slightly more relevant example. So let's take a basic 16th note, 2-handed hi-hat groove. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to diddle the last of every 4 notes. So all of the uhs that I'm playing on the hi-hats with my left hand, I'm going to play as a diddle. So I'll start this groove just regularly, and then I'll start adding in that diddle. So I chose to play that diddle on the but you could choose any of the notes in that 16th note pattern. There are 16 different notes in a 1-measure groove that you could play with, and you could choose any one of them or any multiple of them to diddle. That phrase is not sounding any better the more I say it. So let's try the same idea with a slightly more interesting groove. I'm going to play an inverted paradiddle groove between the hi-hat and the snare, and I'm going to start by playing it regularly, and then I'm going to diddle the of 2 and the of 4. Here's what that's going to sound like. If you're someone that's listening to this and saying, yeah, that sounds great, but my doubles aren't fast enough, this is your formal invitation to start working on your doubles. If you have ever wondered what is the practical application of working on double strokes, here you go. Once again, I just want to reiterate that I chose the of 2 and the of 4 somewhat arbitrarily, but that groove that I just played can get absolutely bananas if you start diddling different notes, if you start choosing different notes in the phrase or diddling multiple at a time. This is not good. This is not going to work. You can choose to double multiple notes in a row and get even more interesting patterns. We don't have to limit this idea to the hands. We could double any of our bass drum notes as well. So let me play a simple groove with kick on 1 and the of 1, and then I will double the of 1. Here's what that would sound like. Once again, if you're thinking that sounds great, but my right foot doubles aren't fast enough, here is your formal invitation to start working on your right foot doubles. We could also apply this in various ways to fills that involve the bass drum. So I'm going to take a relatively basic linear pattern. Hopefully by now you're kind of familiar enough with this idea that you'll be able to hear me play the pattern on its own and then selectively double certain notes. Here's what this is going to sound like. So this is the concept, and that's how I'd like you to approach this, as a concept, not necessarily as some specific grooves or ideas to try. I want you to take this concept and apply it to anything that you're working on, not necessarily these examples that I just showed you. The last thing I'm gonna do is just try and improvise specifically with this concept. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Let me know in the comments what you think you could apply this concept to. Feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time.